Okay guys, let me show you the best way to do an oil change on your 7.3. Okay guys, how's it going? How you doing? I hope you're having a great time. So it's time for me to do an oil change, and I'm gonna do a few things differently than from what I usually do. Well, usually actually one thing differently. Today I'm gonna switch oil, and I'm gonna go with the Motorcraft brand. Not for any reason at all, other than I just want to see how it is. I have usually just ran Rotella T6 and T3, I believe, are the ones that I usually run on my truck. I've also ran Valvoline, and I've never had a problem with any of them. But when I was shopping, Motorcraft was cheaper than Rotella. And one thing that I actually really liked about Motorcraft is that they come in 5-quart bottles instead of like whatever Rotella is. So when you buy a pack, I bought this as a pack. They came in a box, 3 of them. And if you don't know, the 7.3 takes 15 quarts. So this is exactly how much we need to do the oil change on our truck. So like I said, it's Motorcraft 15W40, which is what your OBS takes, or at least it's what they recommend. I've also ran 540. That ran great too. And if you are in a colder climate, you might want to run a thinner oil for winter time. Now, that's the oil. Oil filter is going to be your typical, also Motorcraft FL 1995 filter. As far as oil filters and as far as I'm concerned, this is the best one to get, your OEM filter. So that's the oil side. I'll leave this for later. This is the most important part of the oil change. As far as tools, a transfer pump, and this is because we're going to do the HPOP. There's some mixed debate on doing your HPOP. Some people say that it does nothing. Some say that you can't do an oil change without doing your HPOP. I can go either way. If I have the time and if I feel like it, I'll do the HPOP. High pressure oil pump. Some people don't like me saying HPOP all the time. So your high pressure oil pump, so the pump that drives your injectors basically. So the reservoir for it, it's not separate, but it does have its own reservoir. And when you do your oil change, that reservoir doesn't drain. And the only way to get the oil out of it is by using a transfer pump. You're gonna get your pump. You'll need a little piece of hose. I believe this is 1/4 inch. So I think this is big enough. I hope it is. So you need a little hose, transfer pump, to be able to get the oil out of your reservoir. You're also gonna need a variety of funnels. If you can get a really small one to fit over your HPOP, it'll make it a lot easier filling it, because it's a really, like I said, it's a small hole to get in there. So, and then your regular funnel for your engine oil, and then you need a big drain pan. You gotta hold at least 15 quarts, because that's how much oil your truck should have. Now, if it's like any other 7.3, it's probably not gonna have 15. It's probably gonna be down a little bit, but still, you need either a big drain pan, or what I've also used in the past is just a bucket. So if your truck is tall enough, you can fit a bucket underneath it. Use that. If not, go and buy yourself a catch pan. Now, this is pretty much. And you're obviously gonna need a screwdriver, a hammer, and something to get the plug off of your high pressure oil pump reservoir. You're also gonna need a socket for your drain plug and your engine on your oil pan, and that should be it for the tools. Now I'm gonna move on to the most important thing that I'm gonna do this oil change. And that's this little black bottle right here. Let me open it up. Now, if you don't know what this is, you probably don't know much about 7.3s or Power Strokes in general. This is Arch Oil AR9100. And This thing is the best additive you can add to your oil. 7.3s and 6.0s, they use Huey systems for their injectors. So they are ran with oil, by oil. That's what pressurizes your diesel, and that's what injects your diesel basically into your cylinder. So you want to make sure that your oil is the best quality you can get, and you want to have some good additives in it. Now what this is, this helps with stiction. So I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what stiction is, but basically in a nutshell is your injectors start getting deposits or wear in them, which in turn causes them to stick, so or get stuck or not fire, which will cause all kinds of problems to your power stroke, including hard starts, even no starts, rough idling, misses, all kinds of things generally until your truck warms up. So if you're experiencing any of these things, next time you do an oil change, make sure you add some of this. Okay, now the cool thing about this though is that I got in touch with the guys from Arch Oil, and I was able to get us a discount. We'll get you guys a discount because I actually bought this at retail price. So, but they were nice enough to give you guys a 10% discount. All you gotta do is use the discount code 928 OBS, and I'll leave a link to their website down in the description and down in the comments. So make sure you go and check them out. Make sure you enter that discount code to save a little bit of money. And the discount code will be good up until the end of August, I believe. So it's super cool. The guys were nice enough to do that for us. Anyways, this goes in your oil. This other bag, this stuff's actually really well packaged too. Now you're gonna think a towel, yeah, you're gonna get dirty, but this is actually something completely different. This stuff right here is again from the guys over at Arch Oil, and this is gonna be a fuel treatment. It's AR6200. So this is for your diesel. And I usually add this whenever I go and fill up, or every other fill up. So what this is basically that this helps lubricate your injectors as well from the diesel side. So if you didn't know, 7.3s were made in a time where emissions and all this stuff wasn't as strict as it is right now. And the diesel quality, I believe, was actually better. It had more I forget what it is, but the actual lubricating agent in the diesel, they had a lot more of it. But throughout the years, because of emissions, they slowly started getting rid of it. So what this is it helps add a little bit of lubrication to your system. It will increase power, response, improves your MPGs, reduces smoke and soot, reduces DPF regen frequency, which we don't have to worry about. Helps dissolve sludge and stabilizes fuel, maintains clean fuel system. And I'm not getting paid at all. I wish I was. Like I said, I paid retail for these things. It was after the fact that I figured, that they are a good company and see if, they wanted to work with us. So I just really like their products. I've tried Diesel Clean. I've tried several other brands, and I really think that this is the best stuff there is when it comes to oil or diesel additives. They have all kinds of other products too. They have gun oil, clean oil, all this. They have a bunch of stuff. They have greases. So definitely go and check out the website if you haven't already, and if you don't know about them, I really recommend that you use this stuff. So yeah, this is basically everything that we're gonna need to do our oil change. It should be fairly simple. If you've done an oil change on any other car, any other truck, it's basically the same procedure, unless you're doing your high pressure oil pump. Which, like I said, it's not necessary. Most people actually don't do it. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump in the truck, pull it in the garage, and get this done. Alright guys, so now that we got this piece in here, we're gonna start by draining the oil. Okay, so make sure that you have your either bucket or oil catch pan under your bolt, and then it takes either a 3/4 inch
socket. You guys can't see anything, huh? Either a 3/4 inch socket or a 19 mil socket. Either one will work. If you have a big enough oil pan, you can go ahead and place it so it's underneath both the oil pan and the oil filter. And that's because we're gonna punch a hole on the oil filter so we can let that drain and we don't make a mess while we're taking it off. Okay, now so while we wait for the oil to drain, we're gonna get started on the high pressure oil pump. We'll start draining that stuff out. And it's pretty simple to drain it out. You just got your oil plug, reservoir plug. You gotta take that out and suck it out. You gotta suck out about, I think, about a quart out of there or 2. So anyways, we'll go ahead and do that. All right, so we got our plug out, and I've got a little bit of a different setup than what comes on there. Usually there's an Allen plug, but I changed it out for a hex 13 mil. I just like the hex better. For me, usually the Allens strip out, and I just like going with the hex better, so that's what I did. All right, so let me show you my setup to get the oil out of the reservoir. We've got our transfer pump right here, and then we got that little piece of white hose that I showed you. It actually fit perfectly into the clear hose that the pump comes with. So we got that, and then we got the other end on a used oil jug right here. So we're just gonna pump it out into this other one. Okay, so now at this point, your oil filter and your oil pan should be empty. So we're gonna go ahead and put the plug back in the oil pan and take the oil filter out. Okay, so I make sure to clean the hole for the plug real good before I throw the new one in there. And there's still a little bit of oil coming out, but should be all right. I've also already cleaned up the plug before, like I said, throwing it back in there. And make sure you don't cross thread this or anything. Make sure that it goes in there nice and easily. And once you got it, just grab your socket or wrench or whatever you got and tighten it up a little bit. Now you don't gotta go crazy on this. Just make sure it's snug, and later on, if it's still leaking, come back and tighten it up a little more, or you might need to replace the little metal gasket that's on there, little washer. All right, so we got all this all nice and done. Now we're gonna take off the oil filter right there. So you can try doing this by hand, but more than likely you're not gonna get it because these things like to get tight. So what I like to do is, I actually don't have a you can use any type of tool to get this thing off, but I don't have any of those special tools. I just punch another hole on the side of it. There we go. And that right there works for me every time. Now make sure you don't hit it too hard because you don't want to damage the actual base of this thing. There we go. Gonna leave that right in there. By the way, this is why I don't like, well, this is the only reason why I don't like going mudding. I love going mudding, but look at all this mud under my truck. This thing was clean, and now it ain't. Okay, so this next step's really important, and that's pre-filling your oil filter. Now this thing takes quite a bit of oil. As you can see, it's a pretty big filter. So you don't want to start your engine without this thing being full. You don't want to dry start it. You don't want to damage any of your internal parts on your engine. Fill it up and let it settle down a little bit. Let it soak in so you can put some more in there. Now at the same time, you can go ahead and pre-lube your O-ring around this thing. That should be pretty good. I'm gonna go throw this in the engine, and I kind of need both hands for this. I'm gonna leave you behind. Almost forgot to do this. Go ahead and write the date and your mileage of your oil change. That way you don't forget. And also go ahead and do that on a little note paper or something, so you can throw it on the truck. Couple things that I forgot to add. Make sure that the old gasket didn't come off the old oil filter. Make sure that it's nice and clean on the filter base, so that your new filter gets a nice good seal on there. Now, another thing, you don't want to get this too tight. Just make sure you get it, nice and tight enough, but don't get any tools or anything to tighten this thing. Same with this, if you find out that it's leaking, after you're done, come back and tighten it a little bit more, but it doesn't need any tools or nothing. Just tighten it by hand till it's nice and tight, and you should be good. Okay, and we are done with the HPOP. That's the most basic way you can do it. Some guys will actually go as far as to fire up the truck and let it run for about 5 minutes and let the oil circulate in the high pressure system, and then drain it out again, put it back in, and do that about 3 times. To me, that's more than enough. Like I said, some guys even argue that you don't even need to do that. And like I said, I only do it when I feel like it, and that's about all I felt like doing. So anyways, let's finish the rest of this job. The last few things we got to do is add our Hachi oil. And like I said, this stuff's great. It reduces engine noise, vibration, and friction heat. Protects engine during cold starts. Reduces wear and extends component life. Gently cleans engine deposits and eliminates Ford power strokes, 6.0 and 7.3 injector problems. Like I said, I really like this stuff and I really recommend it. And like I said, we've got a 10% discount code for you guys if you go ahead and use it on their website. I'm actually gonna start with some little bit of oil. Now, make sure that you put the plug back in before you start filling it up with oil. You don't want to make a mess or waste any of your really expensive oil. All right. Okay, now we're gonna toss in our arch oil. And these trucks take the full bottle. Make sure we get all of that in there. And now all we gotta do is just finish filling this thing up with oil, and we'll take this thing for a drive. Okay, so now before we start it up, we're gonna do a few things. You're gonna make sure you shake your oil level, make sure you're good, not too high, not too low. Make sure that everything you took off is good and tight, nothing's leaking, everything down here. And then once you're good with that, you probably should take care of your oil. I put everything back in the original containers, and my truck used about 1 quart of oil, which is not too bad. All right, guys, so I had recorded some footage from me driving around in the truck and, some good 7.3 turbo noises, but for some reason the GoPro lost quite a bit of that, actually pretty much all of it, other than this one clip. So yeah, the thing sounds pretty good, and I'm really happy with the oil change. It's a really easy job. Like I said, if you've done an oil change before, it's pretty much like anything else, especially if you don't do the HPOP. And like I said, you don't have to, but I just kind of chose to, mainly to show you guys if you want to do it. I have a few things planned for this weekend. Either I'm going to start on a project for the truck, something that had kind of been pushing off to the side, or I'm going to go look at this truck. So it's it'll be a project that I'll have on the channel for a little bit, but well, I'll tell you about it if I do get it. It's a pretty clean OBS. Anyways, don't forget to use that discount code and check out the Arch Oil products. Like I said, I don't get paid for any of it. I wish I did. I didn't even get the discount. I got the discount after the fact, after I had already bought mine. But they're great products. I highly recommend them. And don't forget to use the code if you do get them. You save like
$7 or $8 on the kit that I bought. Anyways, again, leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions, anything that you do differently in your oil changes, what type of oil you like going with, and what additives you like using if you don't use RG oil. Anyways, again, leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.